we are live. Welcome, everyone, to Blacksburg on the Rocks. Welcome to the Super Soft PG episode.
Wait, hold on, Jeremy. Sorry. Yeah, for those of you that are tuning in tonight for the Super Soft PG episode to see our good friend, the beloved Evan Hughes, joining us today, I would like to first start out by saying we apologize. Evan was not able to join us today due to a conflict. That conflict is actually with the ACC. Evan doesn't have a conflict with the ACC. We do. Because those motherfuckers screwed us, and I'm sick of it. Jeremy, look at Grayson, hello, nice to see you. I'm two-fisting it tonight, gentlemen. I'm two-fisting it tonight. That's how mad I am about the ACC and the way they just shoved it in our pooper with no lubrication. They just kind of...
Fuck Miami. Fuck the ACC.
Terrible. Unbelievable.
So, to shield our dear friend Evan, we decided it was not best for the wonderful and universally loved Evan Hughes to come on right after the Miami game.
Yeah. We will do the Super Soft PG episode when I'm not two-fisting alcohol because fuck the ACC. I'll be honest with you guys. Grayson, hi, buddy.
How we do? No. You know what? Screw all that. Not how we do. We're all terrible. We're all terrible. And I'm flattered. I was not on Tails with Dan this week. Pete B from Too Deep was, and they had a great episode. If you haven't checked that out, go listen to it. Those two guys did a great job, kind of zooming out and objectively looking at everything. Everyone's done a great job. I'm furious, and for the Miami fans who might be watching this, what's good? I'm glad you're still watching because you hoed us, and the conference did too.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not even mad at Miami. Because Miami was literally in the same boat we were, right? Like, we were all standing on the field or sitting in our living rooms going, what the fuck's going to happen? How's this going to play out? Like, you flipped that 180 degrees, and we're celebrating, we're happy, we're excited. Of course, it never works out that way for Virginia Tech for whatever reason, probably because the ACC, gentlemen, here you go. I'm going to say this a lot tonight. The ACC made a business decision. They didn't make a football decision. They made a business decision, and here's why. Because Florida State, who everybody thought, Florida State, they're the big, new, shiny, pretty-looking thing out there in the ACC. They ain't worth a shit.
Yep.
And then they were like, Clemson, the old standby, Dabo's going to get those guys ready, and they're going to Dabo and Clemson
shit the
looks
bed.
like shit too. Yeah. So what do you got? You got Miami. Miami, the only undefeated team in the ACC. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. I get it. Miami, the only real legitimate chance the ACC has of getting a team in the playoffs without a lot of cajoling and a lot of kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And they're not. They made that. That was a business decision, gentlemen. That had nothing to do with football. That had nothing to do with Virginia Tech. That was the ACC trying to make sure for one more week at least that they were relevant in the national championship talk because their two crown princes, Florida State and Clemson. Look at, I'm so angry I'm spilling alcohol. God damn it. Fuck the ACC.
Fuck the ACC.
Their two prized possessions, Clemson and Florida State, ain't worth a shit. So they made a calculated gamble and said, you know what? Sorry, Hokies. Not sorry. We're going to jam it in you dry. And you're all just going to have to take it again. And we're going to make this so that Miami still is in the conversation for the national championship. It's terrible. It is god-awful. Fuck the ACC.
Guys, have you ever seen the show Succession?
I love Succession.
Okay, well, so Jeremy, you'll appreciate this, Paul. I strongly encourage you to watch it. Excellent show on but there's a line in that show where Logan Roy says to his children, you're not serious people. You're not serious people. And that's Jim Phillips, you and your cronies in Charlotte, you're not serious people.
No, they are not.
You're not. The ACC is not a serious conference. Okay, great. You let Miami off the hook. I don't care, dude. So let me just say this real quick, because we should never have been in a position to throw the Hail Mary.
I agree.
Fair. That's
We
fair.
should never have been in the position for this conversation to happen. And I've seen this a lot because, the Miami fans who didn't go to Miami have been in everyone's replies this week, including mine, for saying that a USC professor came up to me, saw my sweatshirt, and said, that was bullshit. You guys got hoed. And everyone's like, guys, at least 10 Miami fans replied to me and said, I'll take $100 for things that didn't happen. Hey, write some new material, you morons. Like,
Miami fans are the fucking worst, man. I was actually kind of happy in some ways that Miami was relevant again because I like having a good rivalry. I like them being bad guys. And then I remember why I fucking hated them so much. It's because their fans are goddamn idiots. Well, they come on, I make simple points. I had one guy threaten to kill me at one point because I pointed out that he ate at Subway.
Yeah, you got to be careful, dude. You never know. You never know what's going on down there in South Florida. But I'll tell you this. I have no reason to lie about that. Dude's name, Dr. Chad Waterbury. Gave me his contact information. He's like, Grayson, seemed like a cool kid. I'm at Jameson's all the time in Santa Monica. You ever want to watch college football with me and my boys? Pop out. I have no reason to lie about that. There were 3.3 million people who saw that game on Friday night. Now, there's a good chance that a bulk majority of those people think we got hoed. There's a good majority. So all Miami fans and my replies, that didn't happen. Yeah, it did. Kick rocks. Oh, and if you go lose to
California, rocks, fuck your mom. Fuck y'all.
If you go lose to California this week, all I got to say is I hope it was worth it.
Yeah.
I hope it was worth it.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, I don't know how much y'all want to linger on that, but the call
all night,
the whole goddamn show.
That's right.
The whole show.
We kicked Evan Hughes to the curb just so we could.
I just
dig in.
I saw Coach Pry's press conference today, and I agree with him. He said, "I don't feel like I got an adequate explanation on the call being overturned." Coach Pry, I want to say one thing about the team on Friday. They played their asses off. Okay. Yeah. They played their asses off. My one takeaway from Friday night was the team did everything for the most part, 95% of the way there, that they were asked to do. Drones played the best game of his season this year by far and away. Put up 40 points, but put up 34 points on paper against the Miami Hurricanes, who apparently have one of the best defensive lines in the country. Basil Tootin looked excellent. And our defense, for all intents and purposes, in the second half played pretty damn lights out, give or take a few plays. So I like the way the team played and they fought and they showed heart. And we could have easily gone out there and rolled over and died. And we didn't do it. And so I'm thinking here, of course, they rise to the occasion and they play up. But I've heard it on a few podcasts already this week, but it's so true. There are so many plays that happened where you think you wish you could have had that one back. And those were the differences in the ball games. Most notably, and tell me if y'all agree, fake field goal. Again, you know what? If it works, he's a genius. But I agree, Ryan Franklin should have kicked against Miami. You take the points. All right?
I tend to agree with you, but if he had gotten it, we would be having a completely different conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think in the context, and I've always been this guy, right? I don't think we can pin it on the one decision, the one play. Yes, we should have taken the points. Hindsight is always 20/20, right? But if he makes that first down and they go down and score, we're talking about what a genius Brent Pry is, right?
No doubt.
As a Lions fan, right? Dan Campbell goes for it on fourth down more than any other coach in football. And when he makes it, Dan Campbell's got balls the size of my house. And when he misses, it's like, you should have taken the points there, or you should have punted it away. Like, in the moment, at the time, the coaches make the decisions and they have to live with it. I'm cool with him trying that. If it had worked, it would have been awesome. Unfortunately, it didn't. It would have been a difference, though, in the game had they taken the point. So I do.
It's true.
They also that point.
It's hindsight with that one. Honestly, right. I've come more around now that I've chilled on it and reflected. I'm not going to second guess that because I would prefer to be aggressive like that most of the time, especially when we're playing a team that is supposedly so fucking much better than us. But there are certain decisions in the game that I disagree. The clock management was terrible. And if you're going to run a fake, don't rely on Parker Clements to fucking block. How about we don't hang our hat on that one?
You run the fake to Harrison St. Germain, a tight end who, he can catch the ball. We saw that. We saw that in the Military Bowl. I like Harrison St. Germain, but you're running it to a slower player on the weak side of your offensive line. I mean, and people love to bash Parker Clements. All right, listen, he got blown up on that play. Fine. He got blown up on that play. The whole line got blown up on that play. They cut through like a hot knife through butter. Like that play got blown up from the jump across that entire offensive line. So they saw it coming. So credit to them. In my opinion, it's like, dude, if you want to go for it there, what was it, 4th and 3? It's like, bro, drones and the boy, they were cooking.
Just keep our offense out.
Dude, like, I firmly believe, I swear, I firmly believe you keep them out there and you go for it, you get it. Like, the way our offense was rolling, I think they probably would have done that little dump out toss to Tootin, and he would have walked into the end zone.
Yep.
And again, hindsight is 20/20, but then you have the plays that truly made a difference in the ball game. And that was right after that, you kick a squib kick to Miami.
That was the one that just fucking blew my mind. Kick the goddamn ball down the field.
They almost got 7 out of that. He almost took that back. I don't know who stopped him. It might have been like Mose Phillips or someone, but he almost got away. And we were lucky that they got 3 out of that. Coaching blunder. Why? Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Special teams consistently throughout 5 games has not played well. And that is a reflection of coaching. And so I'm ready to have some conversations about the special teams coordinator going forward because it is consistently not good. You think of the dropped punt return from Jalen Lane the week prior against Rutgers, immediately sets up the tone. It's like, these are
that's kind of on Lane. That wasn't fair. A design issue.
Fair, but it's still just a byproduct of a larger, like, you got to take care of the little things like catching the football or kicking off proper to Miami. And like, these are differences in the ball games. So that one perplexed me quite a bit. And just, I don't know that. And then the one, Heisman moment from Cam Ward where he is being taken down and he does Mahomes pitch and we're tackling their tight ends standing up. Like, that was just bad luck. But also there's no reason he should have gotten the amount of yards that he did. And then you have their 10th year catching touchdowns. That's nice. Hey, dude, get a job. Like, get a job.
This is a job now at this point. I guarantee you in a few years, we're going to see that they're going to come out and they're going to say that it's not right that these kids can make so much money in college and they're tied to just 4 years. And we're going to have a true, it's going to be a true, almost vocational league for the NFL. It's going to be like a minor league for the NFL because they can stay more years than 4. I'm calling that right now because honestly, I don't disagree with it in a lot of ways because if they're making good money for these programs and your program and they can't make money on the next level, why shouldn't they be able to make money?
9 years, Jeremy. for 9 years.
9 years.
For a grown ass
Jeremy
man.
went to school for 9 years, but he's a
I went to school.
Yeah,
I did. I think I got my doctorate.
That's the Tommy Boy reference. Yeah, Tommy. A lot of people go to doctors for 7 years. They're called doctors.
Yeah.
They go to doctors for 7 years?
I've been going to the doctor for 7 years. I think we finally cleared up that drip, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Nice. Get that drip out.
And then
Jerry's giving me prescriptions for it.
Who's number 7 for Miami? I want to put some respect on that kid's name because he's a baller. He had a hell of a game. He's the kid who caught it falling down. Again, just horrible luck, and they convert a 4th down, and he's
what the fuck?
Yeah. And
that was just
like, of course.
When I saw that, I went, "We're not winning."
Yeah.
That's when I went, "We are not winning. It's not on our side."
Dude. That was the moment. I'm like, dude, if they are converting that, and he is literally on the ground making catches. I've seen this movie, man. I know how it ends. Like,
man, I was getting to the point where they were converting so many 3rd and longs that I was like, what the fuck are we going to do to answer this? Because it was when you've got Cam Ward back there and he's making so much magic out of so many 3rd and longs, it's hard to see how you're going to respond. And our guys responded. Like, they deserve that win. They fucking deserve that win. Our clock management set us way behind, but in the end, we really did win that goddamn ball game. That's the worst part about it. We made our mistakes. They made their mistakes too. And I see these goddamn Miami fans on being like, ha, ha, ha. Well, all of this and it didn't go our way on this one or blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. When the game was on the line and it was called and it was in our favor, it got reversed. And Joe here, he makes a really good point. Clear and convincing is evident in 15 seconds, not at most 1 minute. Not 5 and 6 with the Miami guy wearing an orange shirt on the phone. Was he getting a call from his wife about dinner? There is definitely some things up. I don't buy into the full conspiracy theory, but I do absolutely believe that it was an executive decision by the ACC.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if the officials were like full on board going this way or that, but I do think that last call was fully overridden.
You got to remember, the officials don't have any say in this, right? Like, that comes down from Charlotte. Like, Charlotte says to the officials, this is what we're seeing. This is the call that we're going to make on the field. Like, those guys in stripes, all that dude standing in front of the monitor, all he's looking at is the same thing the guys in Charlotte are. He gets a little bit of input, but at the end of the day, Charlotte made that decision. Nobody in stripes in Coral Gables, Florida, made any part of that decision.
They showed the review room at the ACC offices in Charlotte. Listen, man, like here's the thing. Because I think back to Miami last year when Georgia Tech was down last year. You know, they got, whether you hate Miami or not, they got hoed on that call. And so Miami fans, put yourself in our shoes because you've been in them before. You know what it is to get hoed. If you had been in that position, it would have stayed a touchdown. No amount of money can change my mind. That, like, because it was us, it got overturned, man. And you can argue with the brick wall. You'll never convince me otherwise. Like, you'll just never do it. It won't happen. Like, whether you cry about it, all these memes, it's like, you guys, you got a lot of time. I got to tell you, you got a lot of time to be tweeting some of the things that you do.
True, but I will say I don't mind shit talk. I don't mind shit talk at all. In fact, I love shit talk, especially online. And some Miami fans, I'll give it to you. You all were incredible when I'd engage back. Like, some of you all were great. I went back and forth with one of the Miami beat writers, and he was just fucking going back. And we ended up just having fun with each other. So, I mean, some of them are great. There was this guy named Mario. Shout out to you, Mario, for having a sense of humor, who basically told me I was a fucking loser and to fuck off, which is, you know, normal kind of shit talk. But whenever I responded with the great Mario meme of him spreading his butthole, he came back and he was just like, you know what? I said, Mario's a fitting name. And I pulled out my classic Mario spreading his butthole meme. And he came back and he goes, you know what? That was excellent. And I give it to you, Mario. I like you having a sense of humor.
There you go.
Like some of them do. Some of them have had senses of humor that I've seen about it, and some are just, I mean, dickheads. Like, dude,
yeah.
Come on, like. I don't know, but
also they helped us bring in 3.3 million viewers on a Friday night. That was a great showing, and it also shows brand strength for both our teams because that was really, really good. And it goes to show you that college football is a lot better and brings in viewership whenever Virginia Tech and Miami are playing. Let's harken back to fuck the ACC for trying to ruin that rivalry by not making us rivals last year. I'm glad they fixed it, but that was the moment I was truly done with the ACC. That's when I said they don't respect us. They don't respect any of our traditions. They don't respect our rivalries. And I'm going to give it to Miami fans. They came out in droves all over social media, and they said that it was bullshit that we weren't playing because that is a long rivalry. And so we love to hate each other. Let us hate each other. And don't make calls one or the other way. Like, don't fuck us. Because our kids deserve that. Everyone deserved that. That was you just preserving Miami's fucking record at that point. Their rating, their ranking. That's all they were doing.
Yeah.
And it won't last.
No, it won't last.
They are not. I mean, no disrespect. Cam Ward is a baller. He will probably.
He is.
Unless that Boise State running back. He will probably win the Heisman Trophy. Like, Cam Ward is the truth. Kid is a great football player.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch. Their team...
I hate him, but he's fun to watch.
Right. Their team did not look like the number 7 team in the country on Friday night. And, like, Miami fans, that probably stings a little bit, but, bro, we're a 2-3 team now, and you were in hell.
I will actually go ahead and say they did. Like, they always had an answer. It's hard to fucking stop them. The only thing that stops them sometimes is they stop themselves. You know, they'll get a turnover or something. We went lights out for a while, but they responded. It's hard to stop them. And it makes me kind of realize in a lot of ways, they're good. And Rutgers is also good. Yeah. If it were not the Vanderbilt game at the beginning of the season, and if we had beat Vanderbilt and went on and we lost to Rutgers and then we lost this close one to Miami, this would be an entirely different conversation. We'd be talking about how Vanderbilt or how Rutgers is underrated and how we took Miami to the wire and how this is a really good team. And we knew that we might drop an early one and go. It's that Vandy game and the fact that we didn't perform well in the other two easy games. That's what's got us kind of sideways. We can respond. It can happen. Do I expect us to? Fuck if I know. It's a roller coaster being a fucking VT fan.
So here's my issue with Virginia Tech football, and to a point with Virginia Tech men's basketball also. The programs seem to play to the level of their competition, right? Miami, we show up at Miami and hang almost 40 points, and to Grayson's point, arguably 40 points, on a Miami squad that is a top 10 program in the nation, according to the AP voters. We go to Vanderbilt, and we look like a scrub MAC team because we're playing against arguably one of the worst programs in the SEC, right? We play ODU. Well, ODU is a bad example this year, but we play these schools like ODU to the level of ODU, JMU, Liberty. Like, the list goes on and on, right? Like, these are programs that we should absolutely shit kick. And then a team like Miami, we go to their house and we play them. We throw punch for punch with them the entire game. Why the fuck can't we play like we played against Miami, against the Vanderbilts, the Rutgers, the ODUs, the Marshalls of the world, right? Like, for a long time, that Marshall game was tenuous. Like, Jeremy and I were watching the game together, and it's probably a good thing Bridget was between us, because we may have actually hugged each other and just jumped off the stands at some point because of the way the game was being played. Like, stop playing down to the level of your competition. Like, I don't understand why Virginia Tech athletics seems to do this on a regular basis. Can anyone
I don't know
explain
either.
this to me?
It's been like that for
pisses
years.
Me off.
It's been
It
like
has.
that for years, and it's not Coach. People can say, "Oh, the Coach Pride, that's his thing." No, dude, that was Wente and Beamer's thing.
Nope.
And
we rolled into Ohio State and beat the #1 team in the nation.
Yeah.
Right.
But
and
the following week, we lost to who?
East Carolina.
Yeah.
East Carolina.
Fuck me.
So my concern, okay, we lost Miami. I mean, sour September, dude. This team, so we're through September now. It's October. We move on, and all that we have in front of us are ACC opponents. And I just hope, it is my sincere hope, that this Miami loss makes our guys so damn angry and pissed off, and it's like this rally cry to go out there and win the remaining games on our schedule. And people can say, "Oh, that's kind of a fever dream." Believe me, I know it is. But dude,
it's not. We've seen it before.
With the talent,
we've seen it before. Think of Tyrod's year.
People, they're Clemson, bro. I ain't scared of them. I'm not afraid of them. We get them at home. Pete said it on Tails. I will double down. I said it in the offseason. We're going to beat the Tigers. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat Clemson. I said that. I'm standing 10 toes down. We will beat the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah. I can't wait till I'm out of state so I can take money line on it.
Yeah. But next week, gentlemen, well, I'd say next week. I mean, it's game week on Thursday.
Yeah.
The guys go to California. I don't know if you guys saw what Coach Price said today in his presser about the travel arrangements, and they got a bigger plane apparently. And
get them comfortable.
Wide body. He said, I think they're going to be doing stretching in the air, on the way to California. Shout out to Russell Wilson doing the high knees and the aisles and whatnot. And then there's going to be mandatory rest hours. And it's he's really taken the travel to California seriously, as he should. So, so many just different factors. But, I mean, I think you have a real chance here to make a statement, bounce back. We are turning this season around, victory on Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, and
let's fuck up the Calgorithm. As much as I love Cal fans and what they've been doing on social media with the Calgorithm stuff, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's fuck them up.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
Look at this next run of games, right? At Stanford, Boston College at home, Georgia Tech at home, at Syracuse, and then Clemson coming to town. There are 5 very winnable games there. You just got to not play down to your competition. That team that showed up against Miami, bring that fucking team to California. Bring that fucking team back to Lane Stadium and take that fucking team up to upstate New York against Syracuse, right? There's no reason why that team doesn't go 4-0 against this slate of competition here in the second quarter. It just do it. Why do we keep playing down to our competition? I guarantee you, we will look like absolute dog shit against either Georgia Tech or Syracuse. We will play right to the level that team plays.
It'll be Syracuse.
And we'll get into
It'll be Syracuse.
It'll be Syracuse. It'll be Syracuse. Yeah. We will not be. We will see ghosts in Syracuse, New York. We will see demons in Syracuse. Yeah. That game. That is. I'm not even kidding, dude. That game is the one game on our schedule. And my roommate went to Syracuse. He is a Syracuse Orange alum. He is already talking shit to me. He's already you guys, haven't beaten us there in eons. And I'm dude, by the way, you're not wrong. So I welcome the shit talk because
I want to address this that Chris brings up. If we lose to Stanford, I probably won't catch another game this season. We have 3 to 4 winnable games. I disagree. And I don't just disagree. I call bullshit, Chris. You're going to be tuning into every single one of those games just like we all will because you're just as obsessed as we are.
We're all sick.
We say that every year, right? And if they lose to fill in the blank here, I'm not.
J.M. Tucker has said Evan Hughes got cuter.
Evan Hughes is a good-looking man.
Hey, Jay, that's like the most backhanded thing you've ever said. That's crazy.
If you all haven't seen Evan Hughes, that boy, he has lost about 100 pounds. Evan looks amazing. He has dedicated himself to the craft of not being a fat radio broadcaster. And I as a former fat radio broadcaster, I applaud him for that. It's good for him. It's good for him.
I saw him, it's insane because Paul, I even saw you the same night. It was at PK's right around the holidays last year.
Yeah.
It was like the Virginia Tech Christmas party or something like that, that athletic staff. I saw Evan and, I remember it was like 4 months later, he had lost some odd 50 pounds. And it was like night and day. So shout out to the homeboy, shout out to Evan Hughes. And just like, I'm kind of selfishly glad for you two, just that you're able to get the demons out on this episode without Evan Hughes.
I talked to Grayson the morning after the game. I'm sitting around and I'm just like fucking depressed. And Grayson calls me up. Grayson calls me up and we were talking about it. I was like, oh God, this next podcast, we're going to fucking lay into it. We're so fucking mad. I was like, oh my God, wait. Evan's coming on this next episode.
It's like, no, we're not.
Much like the ACC, Jeremy, Evan, and I made a business decision yesterday.
That's right. Well, it's
for all parties involved.
Well, how great will it be? Hopefully, next week, if Evan is around and available, hopefully after a win in California, he can come on here and it will be much more lighthearted.
Did you guys know that?
Go ahead.
You guys know that J.M. Tucker, the M in his middle name, stands for Michigan? It does.
It does not.
Is that a fact?
It does not.
I feel good about this weekend, gentlemen.
I do too.
I did too after talking to you. I didn't realize there were that many Hokies in the area. But then again, we got alumni everywhere.
So we have a lot in the Bay, but all the best alumni chapter in California is the San Diego one. I mean, R.I.P. Bubs at the beach. That used to be the big bar down there. But you would go there on any given Saturday, and there were 50 to 75 Virginia Tech fans. And they're like alumni just chilling, watching the games. I was flabbergasted. Here in L.A., it's a group of like 20 to 25 of us. But it's crazy, all the people I see every week. I've asked every single one of them, you going to Stanford? You going to Palo Alto? Yep. I'll be there. Yeah. Flights booked, hotels booked. I'm driving. I've heard about buses being taken up from San Diego. I talked to my buddy, a fraternity brother of mine who lives in just outside of San Francisco. He's like, oh, yeah, dude, bunch of Hokies up here. They're all coming. And then I know people back east just for my folks are coming out just for the novelty of it, being like, hey, first regular season game in California, let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's going to be a fever dream. Like my flight leaves on Friday, and I'm going to land there in Palo Alto. I've been to the Bay a couple of times before, but I'm here to watch a VT football game. It's just going to be so strange,
How far is it for you as far as if you drove? Because it's such a big fucking state. And a lot of times, Southern California gets grouped up into it's Southern, it's close. And it's not close. It's it's 4 states worth of states. Close.
So contextually speaking, driving from San Diego to the Bay would be like driving from Jersey to Blacksburg. It's like 7.5 to 8 hours. Okay. And then from LA, given traffic patterns, it's about 5.5 to 6.5. And so
it's like going from Blacksburg to Kitty Hawk or something.
Yeah, or to Myrtle Beach. So it's not, and it's nothing. You get on the 5 North, and it's just California country, almond farms, and you pass through Bakersfield and Fresno. And
wait, they have entire farms devoted to almonds.
Oh yeah, that's the big.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's California.
I'm learning something.
Almond state. So the more you know, but just almond trees, just lines of them and stuff like that.
For the record, I hate avocados. Just throwing that out there.
Wow.
That's cool.
That sounds like something you'd hate.
Yeah. Guacamole? No, don't like it.
You also don't put cheese on fucking burgers. You're just a weird person. You're a weird
That's fair.
person, Paul. That's why we love you so much.
The Midwest is crazy. But anyway, so I'm flying up. I fly into San Jose. It's about 25 minutes from Palo Alto. I know a lot more people who are flying in. The easier airport to get to is San Francisco. But the flight up there is 45 minutes in the air. And it was, my flight round trip was $130. And when you factor in gas, like in this state, you would spend more driving up there. So for me, it was a no-brainer to get on an airplane. Just quick up and down. We'll get back before dinner on Sunday evening. So
that's awesome. And also, it's important that we show up because we're also, this is a audition in a lot of ways for when the ACC implodes. We've got to show, like, we got viewership, like we showed the other night. We got to show our team fucking travels. We got to show we take football seriously. That's why if we turn this around and we perform, that's going to be great. If we have a second half to the season like we had last year, it's going to be a lot better. But we really, really need to blow through ACC play, and we need a big win. That's why that Clemson game's so fucking important. If we win that Clemson game, you can blow off a lot of the earlier things. If we win that Clemson game and we somehow manage to get in the ACC championship game by rebounding that way, our fans continue to travel. We continue to have this viewership.
Yep.
That is what we need. We don't have to have this huge, amazing season where we make a fucking full-on playoff run. We need a season where we have upsets, our fans come out, we have good viewership, and we actually show that our program is trending in the right direction while performing at that level. That's what we got to show. We got to show that we have it together. Otherwise, guess what happens when the ACC implodes? It'll be Big 12 at best.
Yep.
Right.
I need this many wins this season. I need 8. I don't want to see 7 and 5. Shout out to the Hokie Hangover guys. I listen to Andrew Alex. Like 7 and 5, that's a failure. That's a wash.
I agree.
Yeah.
7 and 5 is a failure.
That's no upward trajectory.
Failure of a season. You have to minimum 8 wins. And I said this before the season. I don't care. One of them wins better be over Miami or Clemson.
Yep.
And now you got no choice.
Yep. And that's the thing that sucks is Clemson looked like they were fucking shit in the bed and Dabo had completely lost it. And then they turned around. They made NC State look like a bunch of clowns. And I thought NC State was going to be really good this year. Turns out they're not.
Stanford. I mean, they really beat the crap out of Stanford. They injured their quarterback, which is worth noting. I don't know if their starting QB is going to play on Saturday. I'm not sure if y'all have seen those reports, but his name escapes me, and I should have done a little bit more research. But their wide receiver.
We don't do research on this show.
Respect. Their wide receiver, apparently Stanford has a very, very good wide receiver, which, you know what, if there were ever a position that didn't make me as nervous, given on how our DBs have been playing as of recent, okay, well, if your quarterback's hurt and you got the second string guy, don't let him have a career day against you.
You know what I'm just realizing? I'm so caught up in all this Miami shit. I thought we were playing fucking Cal this entire time.
No, we're playing Stanford.
We're playing fucking Stanford.
We're playing Stanford. That's Jeremy. That
shows you how much I prepare for this shit.
Miami is playing Cal.
I respect that.
Miami's playing Cal. That's why I had it in my brain.
Is playing Cal. We are playing
Stanford. Now, that being said, I'm going to be a huge Cal fan.
Oh, yes.
I mean, after the way we got fucked, like, I really want to see Miami just fall flat on their face. I don't know that it'll happen because, again, Cam Ward is that guy. But, like, to see them just kind of roll in there and just piss all over themselves would make me so happy.
To see them piss down their leg and drop one in the ACC so we're even, and that gives us a little bit of cushion, that would be massive. And,
I'm actually not okay with that. I want Miami to win every goddamn game they get to or they play until the ACC championship game, and I want us to beat them there. Because right now, as much as I love Schadenfreude, as much as I fucking love it, I love Virginia Tech football more. And whatever happens, I want Rutgers to win the fucking Big Ten. I want fucking.
That's not gonna happen.
I know. I want Vanderbilt to come out and just fucking lay waste to people and make these huge. I want everyone that we have lost to have these incredible seasons and not lose to anyone. Even though it would hurt the ACC because I fucking hate the ACC. I still want it to because we need our brand to be better and we need our strength of schedule to look better, which I think it will by the end of the season. We need to be better. And as much as I fucking hate Miami and I think their fans are dipshits, I want them to win.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If they lose, I'm not going to shed any tears. But I'm thinking of us and our brand and our, I guess, kind of trajectory more than, yes.
What's best for Virginia Tech? Or
what is best for us?
What's important now is...
A couple of things real quick in the chat, boys. Joe says that avocados are poisonous to dogs, therefore avocados suck. Joe, thank you for backing me on that. Chris, Wild Turkey Rye, in all seriousness, if you like rye whiskey, Wild Turkey, believe it or not, makes a delicious rye whiskey. It is amazing, and it is cheap as shit. I think I paid like $39 for the whole fifth.
Sheesh.
So.
Also, Jay Tucker made a huge mistake by saying truth in the comments without giving any context. So I'm probably just going to bring it up randomly, like he's agreeing with anything I say.
That's fair. Nice. That's fair.
That's on you, Jay.
Save that graphic. Save that graphic.
Okay, Jeremy. We got to address something now. Because
what are we addressing?
We got to address something now. Little video on X yesterday. Mr. Bill Roth. He brought in an expert about someone who knows everything.
He did.
About what it is to catch a pass. Who did he bring on? Jeremy? What's his name?
He brought in the true expert on catching a pass, Danny Cole.
That's right.
And the funny thing about this entire week is having Paul so fucking upset over this and so mad.
Yup.
Upset when this all is being compared to the game that Danny Cole caught that pass against Michigan, and our entire program went downhill afterwards when we got fucked over by the Pac-12 officials. Which, by the way, it went up to a Michigan alum, just like this went up to a Miami alum. I'm sensing a pattern in game-defining plays where we get fucked.
Look, I love you guys. I'm going to watch the Braves San Diego game here. You all go ahead and discuss this because no matter what I say, I'm going to be wrong. So
it's funny, but I did appreciate like the fact that Paul is palpably furious about what happened on Friday night. That makes me feel better. I realize, in that fight, his dog was the Hokies, and in Virginia Tech Michigan game, his dog were the Wolverines. So. To each their own, but
Paul loves us. He even straight up says like he's been to Michigan games and he was like, it's not the environment that Lane Stadium
It's not.
is.
I will tell you this. You would be amazed at how quickly 110,000 people can sound like a church. It's amazing to me how different, and I think a lot of it too is the way the stadiums are constructed, right? Like at Virginia Tech, you are on top of the field no matter really where you sit. At Michigan, it's very much more of a gradual bowl. And I just think that like even though there's never a bad seat because the field is down in the ground, like you get to a point where you're kind of so far away from the field that you don't really have an effect on the game no matter how much you yell. And I will say this. Shout out to the Virginia Tech student section because from what I've seen this year, they've stuck around. Previously, Grayson's era, the era between Grayson and now, y'all had a really bad habit of at halftime going to like Tots and finding a rail to drink.
Or back to center because that was such an interesting time because when I was in school 2014 to 2018, we had Beamer's denouement, the last 2 years of the Beamer regime into his retirement. And then you had the first 2 years, the best years of the Fuente era. But we were my freshman and sophomore year, dejected because I'll never forget that overtime game against Duke where Christian McCaffrey's brother caught the game-winning touchdown. And, like, I'll never forget saying, having that conversation, like, all right, I love Coach Beamer, but it's over. Like, it's got to be what comes next has to now come.
A lot of people forget what that time was like.
It was a weird time.
It was a weird time.
And
then we were like, we made this great hire with Justin Fuente, and people forget those first 2 years, it looked like a good goddamn hire.
They were fun.
Yeah.
They were great. We just didn't know he couldn't recruit or let people
Justin Fuente was the hot guy then, right? Like, we were alone.
He was.
It wasn't like Whit Babcock was out there just with a
Kirby Smart wanted to come here.
Glasses. Yeah. And he wasn't like, let me see. Oh, I just whacked somebody in the ankle. What's your name? Justin? All right, you're the head coach of the football team. There were a lot of programs that wanted Justin Fuente back.
And we got him.
We had to fend off Florida State from him because that's why we gave him that contract extension. Florida State was coming for him hard. Like, that's what people forget was that was a knockout hire. It's just that's one of the things that I think Pride doesn't quite get credit for in the long term. He did repair a lot of relationships in Virginia that Pry actually destroyed. And I said around
Fuente.
Pry repaired it that Fuente destroyed. That is something that we talk about, this is the culture of VT. This is what we want VT to be. And sometimes I go off on my tangents. I don't give a fuck about whether they're relatable or not. I just want to win football games. But recruiting comes down to a lot of that culture and being actually personable. So that is something that you need. And that's something I think a lot about. And I'm not going to hold it completely against Fuente that he, came in and he performed well with that roster that was good. He did.
He won 10 games in the first year. And, dude, I said it last week on here. You couldn't tell me a damn thing after we won that Belk Bowl. I was like, dude, Fuente's going to lead us to the promised land. And then,
I thought so too.
Came back a year later. We beat West Virginia at FedEx and won 9 games.
That was a beautiful night.
Yep. Lost to a very good Oklahoma State team. We should have won that game.
In spite of Chase Mumaugh's greatest play in Virginia Tech history.
Greatest play in Virginia Tech history. Chase Mumaugh. Shout out to
Chase Mumaugh. Moo Daddy, now the defensive backs coach at, like, Middle Tennessee Tech or something like that. But God love him.
What is that where he is now? I thought it's at Wake.
It's not Middle Tennessee State though, is it?
Yeah, it's Middle Tennessee. They dropped the state.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's not MTSU anymore. It's just Middle Tennessee.
He might be coaching with people I know. I've actually got to check in on that. But Chase Mumaugh.
Yeah,
I have an autographed Chase Mumaugh jersey from that bowl game hanging in my office. No joke, I have.
Well, he has the highest passer efficiency in any VT QB.
That is true.
Ever.
He has the highest. Yes. He should probably honestly have his number retired up next to Bud and the lunch pail. If we're being honest, like Chase Mumaugh arguably might be the greatest Virginia Tech football player of all time.
It took
That's true.
Us to bully the people in Merriman into letting us retire Liz Kitley's number. You think they're going to do his? Hell no.
I don't know. You don't understand. I'm really good at shit posting.
Yeah.
I'm really good at shit posting. There are like large corporations that have entire meetings on my shit posting right now.
The other person that needs to be in the Hall of Fame, and I will die on this fucking hill, is Kelly Hughes, Evan's dad, arguably one of the best soccer players in Virginia Tech soccer history. Kelly Hughes needs to be in the Virginia Tech Hall of Fame. And if it doesn't happen soon, Whit Babcock might be getting a visit from me and Jeremy.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes,
Whit,
what a guy.
You heard it. You heard it right here on this.
Kelly Babcock show up at your office.
Let's talk about that real quick because I tweeted it today, and I want to hear what y'all have to say on this. No statement from Sands or Whit Babcock about what happened on Friday? No statement, no tweet. Are you
Here's the
surprised?
thing.
Are you
Here's the
irritated?
thing.
What do you think?
I'm actually someone who does a lot of this fucking bullshit for his profession, where I put a target on my back and I invite people to come and take shots constantly. And that fucking message resonates. You have to come out and you have to say this shit. Come out and make a statement. Let them fucking find you. Who the fuck cares? You know what that's going to buy? That's going to buy a lot of goodwill from fans. That's going to buy a lot of goodwill from everyone. Come out, make statements, take these stances, tell the ACC to shove it up their ass. Do that. You know what that's going to do to us? You know what that's going to make us feel? It's going to make us get off our fucking feet. It's going to make us fucking scream the next game. It's going to make us fucking invested. That's what you have to do.
Here's the problem, though. I like Witt. I don't know Sands. I like Witt. But those two men are soft as baby shit. They aren't going to stop. There is no chance that they're putting themselves in front of the train and going, you fucked us. Like, come on. Everybody knows it.
Paul, I prefer the term cerebral. They are a little too cerebral sometimes.
Right.
Get caught in their own heads.
Yeah,
but no. It's one of those things.
Softest baby shit situation.
Get
out of here. Home run San Diego. Let's go, baby. Sorry,
no, I agree with you. It's soft as fucking shit.
I just think if you are in, I mean, because I've seen it from so many other athletic directors, university presidents. I mean, you're the leader. You're the two people in charge of this operation, and you have a rabid fan base. I mean, who just felt their own heart pulse ripped out of their esophagus, and you don't say anything. You don't acknowledge it. You leave it to Coach Pry, who, I mean, yeah, it's his job to take that on the chin and discuss it, but like, you're not going to support the guy you hired. Like it's just, I don't like it.
Run and hide.
I don't like it. And
I'm actually going to give them an out right here. I'm going to say right now, Whit, I know you watch our program and I appreciate it. All you have to do right now is just tweet out FTACC. We'll all know what you mean.
Literally.
And I'll count it.
It wouldn't even be that. I mean,
or FTM.
He can't do that. But you know, we've had conversations about this. You know, I've talked.
My dog stepped on my phone. That's all I gotta say.
Mr. Babcock about. He's told me to my face, Grace and I like stick it in. I think it's great. You know.
Yeah.
My hands are kind of tied. Okay, well, that's from our alumni, and now our alumni are telling you, we want your voice to be heard. Say something because we got hoed. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if he's watching it. I feel very strongly that one of them.
Man, I'm joking. He ain't fucking watching it.
if he does.
Chris asked a good question, Jeremy. Put up Chris's question.
He should.
Wait. I'm sorry. I lost track.
The last one. I want to know. The last question.
This Chris.
Yeah.
Does Witt shop at Counts Family Pharmacy? I cannot legally tell you that. I hate it when people ask me those questions. I am bound by actual laws to not say anything like that.
Fucking HIPAA. God damn it.
HIPAA.
Yeah, that is a real application of HIPAA, not all the fake applications you see. That's a real one.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Doctor-patient confidentiality, I suppose.
Sorta.
Kinda. Yeah. You know.
In a lot of ways.
Jeremy, you don't have to tell us if he does. If he does, just blink.
Oh.
I'm not confirming anything.
Anyway.
I'm a sweet, innocent Jeremy. I will not be brought up on a HIPAA violation for some fucking rando that is just sitting around watching this podcast saying, that motherfucker blinked. Or some fucking bullshit. I'm not doing it.
Chris, do not put yourself.
Fuck you, Chris Arnold. Fuck you, Chris Arnold. Talking your bullshit.
I bet CVS can tell us is crazy.
CVS, their executives are not dumb. They're not going to tell you. They're just going to sell all of your data to everyone. Yeah, the general public's not going to know. They're just going to sell all of your data to fucking everyone.
If you are flying to California, by the
yeah.
way, if you're coming out to Palo Alto and you get there on Friday, there is a welcome party for Virginia Tech fans there's a New Orleans themed restaurant and bar called NOLA, and it's right in downtown Palo Alto. It's from 4:30 to 9:30. So PSA, that's where all the Tech fans are going to be on Friday.
That sounds awesome.
Evening. I've looked it up. It's a cool place. Definitely New Orleans inspired. Like
Grayson, I'm just going to go ahead and say, whenever we do anything New Orleans inspired, we lose ball games.
That's not always true. 1995. And that was the first time we went there, and this is the first time we're going to California. So
that's a good point.
Think it through.
I'm not a superstitious man, but when it comes to these things.
First time we went
to Grayson for the W.
Yep. We won 28-10 against the Texas Longhorns.
Those were mental gymnastics I can get behind.
Yep.
Yep.
I can stretch that out.
So maybe
Grayson, what's your schedule look like? Like, you got your flight up, you're going to go over to NOLA. Like, what's your pregame? What's all that looking like?
Yeah, so I get to Palo Alto on Friday at around 11:30. My old man apparently rented a car and is going to scoop me from the airport, which is a very nice gesture.
Is that 11:30 Eastern or Pacific?
PST.
Okay.
So 2:30 y'all's time, and my buddy Dylan, who's never been to California, is flying out. Shout out to Dylan. So we're all staying at the Sheraton in Palo Alto. Friday night, we'll go to the NOLA shindig. But before that, man, like any campus I go to, I just want to walk around. Stanford's a great school, beautiful campus. So many incredible athletes have gone there. I want to go check it out on a Friday. There's going to be a heat wave, by the way. It's going to be hot on Friday and Saturday. I think it's going to be 93 degrees. So pack warm if you're coming out. And then Saturday, man, I mean, it being a 12:30 PST kickoff, wake up. I don't know if we have a parking spot, but I'm staying at the hotel right across the street from the stadium. Could throw a rock and hit it. So I know there is an alumni tailgate sanctioned. I know a lot of people are going to that. My plan is to wake up and drink bourbon and hang out with mom and dad and my friends who are coming up from LA, and it's going to be a good time. So really, really looking forward to it.
Those are those special fucking days.
Like
when everyone comes around and you're not used to everyone being around. That's one thing I love about having a business in Blacksburg is I get to see so many friends that normally people would not get to see, that just stop in the pharmacy and say hello.
Yep.
Like it's really awesome.
Clark's coming out.
You get that. He's flying all the way out.
Clark Rowland's coming out. So I'm excited to see him. And then after, hopefully, Virginia Tech takes care of business, I'm going to plop my ass down in a bar in downtown Palo Alto, and I am going to demon watch Cal versus Miami.
Now, Grayson, I have a question for you. As you continue to mature in life,
yes,
have you embraced the 12:30 a.m. start time?
I mean, you want to talk about 12:30, dude, there are games out here like in the Fuente era when things were real bleak, when I was getting up at 9 in the morning to watch the Hawks play. And I'm not talking like, 9 a.m., be at the bar by 10. I'm talking roll out of bed and turn the TV because it was a noon kick back east. So I'm well-versed. So it'll be a breath of fresh air when I'm in town in 2 weeks for the Thursday night game and actually get the whole day.
There you go. It's 6 p.m. out there right now. What's the rest of the night look like for you?
Cook dinner and go to bed. I mean,
okay.
And I might, who knows, maybe I see y'all drinking the whiskey and I feel left out. Who knows, maybe I'll have one.
I had to two-fist it tonight because of the age.
Joe, I was actually not going to bring this up because I didn't want to do that to you, but what?
Super hot girls that actually have brains, dangerous for boys like us. Again, no context. Like Jay Tucker. Maybe
going
that's
out to Palo Alto. Actually, I'm going to screenshot that one. I love you, Joe.
I see what he's saying. Yeah.
Also, I will go and say Joe Hodder is one of my fucking favorite individuals to ever exist. He is awesome.
Heck yeah.
You go downtown and you get to see Joe. You're in for a good time talking to him.
Heck yeah! Shout out to Joe.
I got to meet Joe.
Shout out to Joe. I think you have at some point at PK's. I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we've been there at the same time.
Joe, if I don't remember, I apologize to Joe if I don't remember.
I think we had the baby. It's also one of those weird things where I know Joe, and then I know you, and it's through entirely different networks. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The circles don't cross.
Yes, and if I see you all in the same place, I just kind of assume you know each other.
Oh yeah. Well, next time Joe is in the same place as us, please, I would love to meet him.
Yeah. But you all, we're coming up on our end.
It is.
Right now, Boundary Corner is about to start. Everyone, go tune into Boundary Corner. We love those guys. They are our friends. We love them to death.
I bet you they don't say fuck Miami and fuck the ACC as many times as we did, but low-key, they'll be alluding to it.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee Tally will actually say it twice as much as us on this episode.
I was going to say Tally's going to be the anomaly.
He is angry. He is very angry.
Tally's going to be the anomaly.
Good.
You all, thanks for tuning in. Blacksburg on the Rocks.